I want to help people when I can use my brain, my professional skills, where that can help protect them and give them that sense of peace of mind. I'm Louise Moulton, and I was part of the first cohort here at Swinburne in the new law school, and I studied a Bachelor of Laws, graduate entry, having been a teacher for 15 years and wanting to pursue my first love that I wanted to as a teenager, and that's to become a lawyer, and could not have chosen a better place. Well, we both chose each other really, to be nurtured through and respected, that I could do anything I wanted to do, no matter my age. And the success that I've continued to have after Swinburne is that very beginning, and with my lecturers and the other students that I met. So very grateful to be a Swinburne graduate. The appeal of a beginning law school is I was looking for a fresh start in my world. So we were going to grow together, we were going to make mistakes together, and the more intimate space, because it was going to be new, the class sizes weren't going to be large, which had its challenges as well. You can't hide, you can't be shrinking violet, and some of my lecturers would remember I'm not that. But I could be what I wanted to be on any given day, and that's what was great. And I'll be honest with you, you doubt yourself leaving such a successful career. So Swinburne's the first one that will return my calls, welcomed me in. I think my first phone call was with the Dean. Like, what Dean rings you? So Dan Hunter called me and we had a great conversation. I remember my backyard in Northcote, walking up and down the grass and being so excited about what was about to happen. I never felt like I was at the bottom as a student here. We were, and that again, that is the warmth and professionalism of the teaching staff and the administrative staff of the law school as well. So yeah, lots of challenges at uni just to balance your time and get back into the study, and arthritis popping out in your first ever law exam, going, oh, 1.5 hours in and I need to keep going. So lots of challenges at uni, but that's about the study and the workload. The challenges when you leave uni is, well, what does that look like for an early 40s graduate? I knew I didn't want to be in a big firm, in a big commercial space. I knew I wanted to stay in that boutique size, and I knew my area of law was wills and estates, so that was clear for me. But the challenge was being at the bottom. But fortunately, that business development and people skills and conflict resolution skills, they emerged very quickly in every employment place that I was. And I was fortunate enough to have principal solicitors that recognised that. Then we could carve out a unique role for me that wasn't just a paralegal, wasn't just a junior lawyer. I never had junior put in front of my name. And that was powerful for the first 2 years of my experience. And that was the biggest challenge, is acceptance. What does my place look like out there? What am I passionate about? And that's why I've ended up as my own sole practice, because I've been able to take all the ingredients that I love best and put it into to make my business. So my business is just over 2 years old. It's called Louise Moulton Legal. I operate out of Shellharbour in New South Wales, and I practice across the eastern seaboards. I get such satisfaction in putting an estate plan together for my clients, and I know they're going to have peace of mind, they're going to have a sense that their family is protected, and that they've had a very positive experience with me when facing what Western society doesn't like facing, and that's the grim idea of not being here. From the very time I started as a paralegal, so I was exposed to family law, wills and estates, and a little bit of commercial law and conveyancing, and I had to work in and out of those, but predominantly in the family law and wills and estates. And I could see the relief that a client would be quite surprised themselves of having signed their will, gotten their enduring power of attorney, their medical treatment decision maker document. So I'm like, okay, so I can have a place in law that still gives me the opportunity to care for someone, be of service, because that's what I did in my teaching career. I want to help people when I can use my brain, my professional skills, where that can help protect them and give them that sense of peace of mind. So that occurred very, very early. And like anything new, once you start to master something, and master's the wrong word because you don't ever master anything in the law, but once you start to not be so fearful of it being so new, I think that came very quickly in the wills state and the succession law space. And so I became comfortable. And having practiced in family law for 9 months, and it was only 9 months, in children's matters alone, it was harrowing. And I was back in that world of, at the school, dealing with families in absolute crisis. And I did a lot of good, don't get me wrong. I helped a lot of families, but I knew that that was not what I was going to do for the rest of my career. I had to go back to my original love. And so anytime I learn something about succession law, so wills and estates, I get excited. And it builds on the blocks all the time. When I walked away from my teaching career, I immediately worked on getting myself a paralegal position. I had one 6 weeks later. And that apprenticeship helps you in your studies. You're never worrying about getting those hours up for Swinburne, and probably still does. You have practical hours that you've got to do for Swinburne, not just in your PLT. You never have to worry about that. And you can see in the real world how it's playing out. And I encourage you to get a position in a general practice firm, so in a boutique law firm, because you're going to be exposed to those business pressures. You're going to have performance reviews. That's where you have to present a business case why your position is integral to the delivery of legal services. That changes you so you can then possibly open your own practice yourself. So I never ever thought law was going to be Harvey walking around in suits with one piece of paper. I never thought that. I didn't ever really want to have a career in court. I thought I'd be going to court, but as confident a person as I am, it still frightens me. I'm sure that I would have got match fit and it would be second nature, but it's not where I chose to go. So expose yourself practically to as many areas of law as you can, so you can then reflect back on your studies and say what's important. You've got to do the Priestley 11 anyway, and take advantage of, like I did, of Asian commercial law. I was already in wills and estates for 2.5 years. I knew where I wanted to go, but it was an opportunity. And again, I have clients that have assets in the Philippines and Indonesia, and I think differently about their international assets. So nothing is ever wasted. So please take the opportunities you're given at law school and protect yourself. Don't out of desperation take a position that you're going to be taken advantage of, because that's also a risk out there in the workplace. Like in every occupation, there are good people, there are not so good people. So you've got to protect yourself and understand what your value is, particularly in employment contracts, and get someone to look it over. But my strongest advice, because I sit before you right now because it's come to fruition, is get yourself a job in a law firm as soon as possible. Sure, keep working the bar, keep working at Kmart. The cost of living, more than one job's probably needed, but somewhere in that mix, try and get a run-of-the-mill job in a local boutique firm, 1 day a week even, just learning how to deed properly, please.